This is the next item I'm going to address on my printing and my hopefully last experiment before I get back to just printing and not worrying about it so much. What this is, as you can see right now, this is going to take 5 hours and 5 minutes. This is set up for the 0.3 millimeter layer height. One wall, random seam, 4 layers top and bottom, 3% cubic subdivision, 200 degrees on the nozzle and 50 on the build plate. Retraction is enabled. Cooling 100%. I'm not using support on this, and raft. That's all the same as it's ever been. And I skipped over speed, because this is the last one I'm going to address. And you see, this is set at that 40 that I had been using. And that's what generates that time of 5 hours and 5 minutes. So we've looked at how the layer height drastically, oh boy, from 3 to 2, it's about I don't know, let me get my little thing I did real quick. Actually, the figures I wrote down are exactly this print. And you can see here, if we printed at 0.3, we generate 351 layers. If we printed at 0.2, wow! Didn't mean to click there. If we printed at 0.2, oops, sorry about this down here. 0.2, let's take it out of preview mode up here. Can't really preview it till you slice it. That's what that error message is telling us. So I did write down, like I say, these slicing differences. 6 hours 46 minutes at 524 layers. Yep, is what we find here. It's a difference of 173 layers. It makes a difference in time. I'm going to click back to prepare while we change this to 0.1, which is going to be drastic. It's going to move it to 1,043 layers in the slicing program. At 11 hours, we're up to 12 hours at this point on this one part. Oops, when we were on to click, I wanted to click here. See, 1,043. So that's a difference of 692, whereas from 3 to 2 is a difference of 173. Going from 3 to 2 is like a 50% increase in print time, but going from 3 to 1 at 692, that's only 10 layers short of being exactly double the 351. So it has a drastic change in the print times of the print. So that's the one we addressed with the layers. And along with this layer experimentation, which we have the 3 tail pieces we printed, I want to play with this. And that parameter is this print speed. We'll just leave it at 0.1 right now, so it's a big number. And we'll change the print speed from 40, which I thought was a mid point, wasn't it, 30 to 60? 20 to 60, I forget. So 60. And now we slice that. You know why that error is up there. I'm just going to go ahead and slice it, and it'll pop up and be previewable. 12 hours down to 9 hours. 25%, just changing the print speed. So of all the perimeters I've seen discussed anywhere, anything like that, these are the ones that I've been playing with. Now there may be another perimeter out there that could drastically affect my prints, but has not been mentioned to me or been made known to me, and I don't know at this point. So this is the last one I'm going to play with, but there's just one little rub. If you go up to the Polymaker site for this Polylight PLA, it says right here, printing speed 40 millimeters per second to 60 millimeters per second. Okay, that's that max I thought I was printing at, but boy, this doesn't split the difference. I was splitting the difference with that 40 millimeters. I'm getting confused. But if we look at what it says on the spool, there's that printing speed from 30 to 50 millimeters per second, where I split the difference at 40. Shoo, boy, go to their site and it looks like I was printing at the slowest speed possible. But now, do you go by what the spool says, or do you go by what the site says? Because if you scan that little zebra code at the bottom of that label on the spool, it comes up 404, not found. It doesn't link to anything anymore. So that doesn't give you any information. If you try to go for that product information zebra code, it doesn't actually work. So in my humble opinion, I wouldn't want to go above 50. So I was hoping I was going to get to go from 40 to 60 and do some increase in speed, but it looks like, no, that's not going to happen. The 190 to 210 in bed, 25 to 60 here. What was that? If we look back at that other, it was 190 to 230. Boy, same on the bottom, but 20 degrees on the top difference. Then the bed temperatures was the same at 25 to 60, but the print speed is 40 to 60 on theirs, but on the spool it says 30 to 50. That's why I split the difference at 40, which it sounds like to me that I shouldn't print any faster than 50 maybe. But 40, according to their site, would be the slowest that it could be print at, but the spool says 30. You see what's going on? So I'm going to try it at a test of 50 and see what happens in the difference with 0.3 millimeter layer height. And that is based on this written on the spool itself. I may, or depending on what I see in those little gaps in that 0.3 millimeter of that I printed, you know, the layers kind of look like they had holes in them, sort of, kind of. I'm going to see what this 50 print speed, 50 millimeters per second print speed does for those layers. And I don't know if I'll move it up to 60 or not. I'll have to make a decision on that. But I had hoped to take it up to 60 and just say, okay, that's everybody's information agrees, and I tried it at the maximum, and it either seemed to close up those lines and make for a good print, and I can print it at the higher printing speed with the less of a layer height and print faster. That's what I'm after here. Little fine tweaking, you see. I could go back to printing it the way I was originally, and everything would be fine too. Okay, thank you.